And finally, I just want to get your thoughts on the Eels. Lots of excitement. Obviously, yesterday on Sunday, the Eels absolutely torched the Knights 66-10. They've had a pretty good run of late. They beat the Warriors quite recently. Mitch Moses only played 14 games this year. It hasn't been a great first year for Jason Ryles in terms of having cattle on the field. As a player, looking at everything that's happened this year and what Ryles is trying to do, is Parramatta like an appealing destination for players, do you think?
Yeah, I really admire what Jason's done in his first year. I think he's given some kids a lot more footy than probably planned earlier before his arrival. The decision that he made around Dylan Brown and dropping him, I think, was courageous at the time.
So I've heard that from like a fair few commenters saying that was like a real turning point. It's going to make him a great coach because it's it's just a hard call to make because Dylan Brown's an international.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Dylan also wasn't setting the world on fire.
Yeah.
So I think kind of made it a tougher decision because I'd still argue that he dropped him for form, not just for the future. Obviously, it benefits their future. But if Dylan Brown was killing, I don't think he ever gets dropped. So I think that's the decision that I admire most from Ryles. That's what tells me he's going to do it his way. I think that's what coaching is really. It's doing what you think right and then backing it to the point. So I grew up a Para fan, man. I got a soft spot. This was pre-professional career.
Yeah.
Raiders is probably the team I feel for now. I've got a family and kids that go for the Raiders. So, but I'm really optimistic on where they can get to. The history tells us that Mitch Moses is going to miss a bit of footy through the year. There's a part of me that says they should spend all preseason planning without Mitch, because Mitch is the type of player that once he's in, like he barks and he gets his team around the buck. The team doesn't need to know how to play with Mitch. What they need to figure out is they need to figure out how to win games of footy when Mitch Moses isn't on the field. So, as I said, history says he's going to miss a little bit of footy for whatever reason. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure Parramatta's doing all they can to make sure that their main man's on the field because, man, he's good to watch when he's on. Unfortunately, they haven't found a way to cover him when he's not there. In a salary cap sport, the club's got to figure that out. I'm saying keep Mitch on the side running on his own through pre-season.
Yep.
Let the team learn how to play without him so that when he's not there, they're a little bit better equipped. But Parramatta's another one of them teams that the game deserves to be really strong. There's Parramatta fans everywhere. We haven't won a title since the 70s, I believe. 70s or 80s? 86. I remember crying the night we lost to the Knights in 01. I went on the footy show in my Parramatta jersey to collect a car that I won. Obviously, we got robbed in 09.
Yep.
Jared Hayne put the team on their back. The game deserves a strong Parramatta. They play out of that, beautiful, big, shiny new stadium now in Parramatta, which is really cool. So it's real. They will be a top 8 team next year.
With someone like a Mitch Moses, how do you build a spine around him? Because, like looking at yesterday, he was doing everything. Do you need creative, like someone who's super creative at the back? Obviously, you like to talk about fullbacks. What type of fullback would suit a Mitchell Moses?
I think Yongi can do a really cool job. Mitch, I played with Mitch at the Tigers. Now, Mitch is a thinker. He loves how can we break down defences. So getting him someone that just gets excited about Mitch's ideas is probably most vital. I think the hooking position is the position they need to get right with Mitch. I think we've seen the run in a few weeks back with Talon and Mitch at the back end of the match. I looked into that a little bit deeper. I think that was Mitch's way of saying Riley Smith tosses me the ball, he puts it right where I need it, and that's the 9 that I need. I don't need a 9 that's a little bit aspirational and wants to play his role in guiding the team around. I think the game's still figuring out the best style of 9. Harry Grant's probably the only anomaly. He can do a little bit of both. And if you look at Harry's highlights, man, he's created a completely different style of hooking play. Like he'll scoot out, crash over, leading with his head and just get you through sheer toughness. And so he's the only anomaly. But I think the best teams at the moment have 9s that toss their halves the ball. And I think that was Mitch sending a message to say that's the type of 9 that I want to play with. Penrith's got Mitch Kenny, Reece Robertson, a great 9. But you can't have too many blokes in there fighting over the ball. So Yongi, Josh Papali's been a shock. He's had a wonderful year. But it's Mitch's team. They just need to figure out whose team it is when Mitch isn't there. That's where talent would be so important when Mitch isn't there. Because when Mitch isn't there, they will actually need a 9 that can guide a team around. So Talon does become important then. But when Mitch is there, he's going to let Talon know that, hey, this is my team and you toss me the ball.
So Eels are a top 8 team.
Real. Yeah, I think they are. I really like what Jason Ryles is doing. And everyone that they brought to the club this year improved the team. Obviously not to the levels that some emotional Para fans would have liked, but they've all improved the team, and their young kids will be better for the run this year.